Welcome back to the Traders Network Show, broadcasting worldwide from Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Matt Bird, covering the 2019 Greenwich Economic Forum, and my next guest is James Beattie from tFOSE. James, welcome to the show.
Good day.
So tFOSE.
Toronto Futures Option Swaps Exchange. We are building a derivatives exchange, clearinghouse, and technology company to bring liquidity to the illiquid assets of the Canadian-Chinese expat market. Obviously subject to regulatory approval, but that's our opening value proposition. It's very exciting.
Well, James, listen, we've been here in the foyer while the main room in the forum has been going on, and the editor-in-chief, Gillian Tate, had just did a prolific interview. You want to tell us a little bit about what are some of your takeaways from that?
Well, anytime you can hear Gillian interview anyone, it is so insightful because of her ability to go right to the core of the story and to get the real story.
Right.
And basically, our last speaker told us to take our MBA and CFA, rip it off, throw it out, and look at risk differently.
Right.
Everything to do with what we've learned on risk, academically, professionally, throw it out. And anytime someone says to you, question all of your assumptions, question the way you look at things, pay attention.
Interesting. You know, the stuff that you're working on, this event, public-private partnerships are playing a huge part in economic development. How important is it for you what you do in Canada?
It's very important because we are building in Canada an exchange that will be global, but it is to serve the underserved needs of Canadian Chinese expats, other groups, but these are Canadians who do not have their basic trading needs from a derivatives perspective addressed by anyone. And they have a huge preponderance of illiquid assets, and we are simply providing tools that organically they want for their portfolio trading, for the liquidity of their assets, and to bring liquidity to those assets.
You know, yesterday, did you attend yesterday?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, there was the governor
Yes.
of Connecticut, mayor, who we had the pleasure of interviewing. We had just Chuck Davis, Steve Case. I mean, it was Rubenstein. It was packed full of global leaders. What were some of your big takeaways from yesterday?
I would say the fireside chat with Byron Allen, if I have it correct.
Yes.
We're talking about chutzpah. We're talking about make the calls. You know, the man built a huge global empire from his home. You know, he tells the story in his underwear.
In his underwear. In his underwear.
But the point is, it's you know, going back to the previous speaker, it's about skin in the game. How do you actually build something?
Yeah.
Have you picked up a phone? Have you made a call?
Yeah.
Have you banged on a door? Because if you haven't, it's a bit of an academic exercise, and you should probably check the assumptions that go with that. So I would say that was probably the most powerful story. You know, it's about a young fellow who, you know, happened because of the good fortune of his mother's academic and professional career to be around, you know, Johnny Carson and such, but he was smart enough. He had street smarts. He used it to build a huge conglomerate that I think is going to become much larger.
You know, my big takeaway is from that, very similar to you, is, and as an entrepreneur, as we all are entrepreneurs, and doing it in different industries, different sectors, but ideas are mental constructs until you actually put them into practice. And the path to get to the goal is never a straight line.
Never.
And every single deviation goes, that's an actual failure. And it's whether you can navigate those failures and learn from them through that path. And he did a great job to bring it full circle of, it was painful. It was really painful, but I got there. And I'm still learning, and I'm still going, and I'm still growing. And people are letting me learn and letting me fail and looking at that as intellectual property.
One of my mentors and favorite people is Richard from Zinc in California. He talks about now and next. And most entrepreneurs live in next. And they have no concept of now. The speakers we've heard here understand now. And if you are able to figure out now, you will get to next.
Yes.
And you know, like if you're building a business, you have to pay the rent. You have to make the payroll. Who's paying for the health benefits? All those things must be done. So wonderful strategy, wonderful execution is going to follow. If you're not paying attention, what do you have in front of you? What do you really have? Do you have skin in the game? Do you understand your P&L? What's driving your revenue? What's driving your cost? And how are you going to make it grow? So I personally love working with entrepreneurs. I love learning to grow with them. If they cannot stay in now, I can't work with that. You need to have the ability to execute fantastic ideas.
You know, someone actually came up with this idea of an idea funnel to actually figure out the cost of new ideas, so it doesn't bottleneck the current innovation with new innovation. It's far too common in startups and emerging growth companies. But this is really fascinating. Listen, I know you're being torn in a few different directions. Tell me a little bit about what we can expect out of tFOSE.
tFOSE is going to build. We're going to use technology to build a derivative exchange that delivers liquidity to a vastly underserved clientele. It is going to be compliant. It is going to be subject to regulatory approval. And we are going to build something that is for the net benefit of Canadians, which will then grow to a global stage. Our clients are looking for organic growth in derivatives. They do everything on a phone. You know, they trade on a phone. They want to be able to trade volatility on a phone, and they want to be able to punch it in. So, you know, I've been doing business a long time, and it's always about people. The one thing that has never changed is people do business with people they like, period. Everything else has changed. And what I've noticed now is that people are doing business with their phone. So it's about replicating that relationship.
Yes.
And I know that sounds a bit out there, but we have to figure out how to replicate that rapport, that community, because out of that is a pretty powerful P&L motivation.
I love it. You know what, I want to stay in contact. I want to get an update from you. James from tFOSE, I'd love to see the progress you make up there. And you know, as somebody who used to live in Canada, I used to live in
great
BC.
place to live. It's fantastic.
I grew up in Seattle, so I'm very much aware of that economic development opportunity up there, and it's massive.
Wonderful.
It's great. All right, you're watching the Traders Network Show. We'll be right back after these messages. Special thanks to our network affiliate partners, ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS. Don't go away, we've got more.
The 2019 Greenwich Economic Forum is brought to you by Bridgewater Associates. Meaningful work, meaningful relationships. Churchill Asset Management, Nuveen, a leading provider of senior and unitranche debt to middle market companies. Ropes & Gray, bright past, brilliant future. Aurora Capital, inspiring partnerships. And Gramercy Funds Management, we are emerging markets. Special considerations to Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Noah Private Wealth Management, a leading wealth and asset management service provider in China. Guotai Jinan Futures, a leading brokerage firm for commodity futures and financial futures in China. China Industrial Securities, a comprehensive financial group providing full spectrum financial services in Hong Kong. And Titan Advisors, built like a hedge fund. Special thanks to the Financial Times and Greenwich Business Institute for hosting us. Special thank you to 1-800 Public Relations for all your PR and media support. And thank you to all the sponsors who helped make this event possible. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.